Hey family, it's your girl Charmaine Holland coming to you, and today I want to talk to you about anxiety. Me and my son were just having a conversation, and I want to do a video because I'm learning more about this anxiety of what's happening out there in the world. And so, we put labels on certain things and we call it anxiety, but what is it really, okay? So I was with a client yesterday and I was doing his taxes. And as he's sitting there talking, I see his lip like shriveling, and I thought he was cold. And I said, hey, you want to sit in the sun? And he said, no, I'm good. And then come to find out, is that a sign of anxiety? Was he really cold? But his lip just kept moving, just shaking. So during COVID, I experienced anxiety, and I think I was getting too excited, wanting to do so much, where I started feeling overwhelmed, like this is way too much. So I said, okay, hold up, park my brakes, get outside, do something else, because it was just way too much. And that's how I was able to control my anxiety. And once I start feeling that, I got out. I just focused on one thing at a time. It never came back again. So my son is sharing with me about anxiety of what other people. He says so many people don't want to speak because they feel they get this anxiety attack going on. And so I'm trying to understand, what is the younger generation experiencing? So can you elaborate a little bit more, Lord, about when you're saying about this anxiety?
Yeah. Brain fart. Brain.
So what's your experience when you see other people going through anxiety? So you said that
I think those people are scared of themselves. Point blank period. I think I don't know. I get you use the word excited. Your nerves are excited. Why would my nerves get excited? Because you're feeling tension. You're feeling conflict. I think people as human beings and how they programmed our minds, we're so scared. Fear being like you said, COVID. Our generation are scared of being sick. I don't think I've ever heard of nobody who was scared of being sick. Like, you're supposed to embrace the flu. It's flu time coming, embrace it, right? You're not supposed to be scared. It's flu time coming. No, it's flu. Embrace the flu. I just think our mind is so fear-mongered that we're running away from everything, and we're not embracing it no more. That's an anxiety case.
So our body is going through something. It's communicating to us, but we don't know how to break through. So when I started experiencing it, I said, shut it down. I went out. I ran out. I went outside to clear my whole aura of what I was sitting in for that moment. And so if I stayed in it, could I have pressed forward? No telling what would have happened, right? I have no idea. But I knew that I was in an uncomfortable space. Uncomfortable.
Do you feel like you were living at that time? That uncomfortable space, you feel like you were more alive than you were if you ran away?
I was in a position in my life that I wanted growth. I wanted to move forward. But I think that I was doing something that was not in my alignment.
Okay.
So I was forcing myself to do something that wasn't in my alignment.
Okay.
Because once I started getting out, every time I felt that, I got out the door. And when I got out and outside in the outside world and started communicating with people, I was coming alive. I felt so much more alive.
You had anxiety when you were by yourself?
I had my anxiety by myself in the office.
A lot of people don't. How many people get it like that?
So people get it the opposite, you're saying?
Yeah.
So people get anxiety when they are talking to somebody or when they're having an interaction.
Yeah.
So do you experience anxiety that way?
Yes, but I like it.
You like it?
I feel alive. I sometimes, the fact that I stutter, I know I'm going to stutter. I know I'm going to embarrass myself.
Mm-hmm.
We embrace it. y'all can laugh. I'm happy. If I want to leave, if I feel like y'all are dissing me,
Uh-huh.
and I know I can always leave.
Uh-huh.
Right now, I feel good. Let me try and let these jitters out.
So you embraced that anxiety about you.
I try. There's times where, of course, there's times where I ran away from it and I hated myself for it.
Really?
That's where I try and, I'm scared. I'm like, damn, I'm not scared of it. Just fight, go for it. And when I did it, I felt so much more alive. That's why I think anxiety brings you alive.
Okay.
That's a test.
Huh.
And
Interesting.
and everybody's different, which is beautiful because
Correct.
there's no one answer for everything.
No.
The fact that we talk like this,
Yes.
I hope this brings more people.
So your anxiety. So when you got anxiety, you felt like there was something that you had to conquer. You had to overcome that moment instead of shutting down.
Yeah, I feel like if I did it, I would have got smaller as a human.
Interesting. Okay.
And I've been getting smaller. I've been doing that. So I want to embrace it more.
So you want to embrace the more. So the anxiety. So the anxiety can be a good thing
100% or bad.
or a bad thing. That all depends on how you look at it and what you're trying to overcome.
I think
Because it could be your nerves just going through something at that moment that your body is going through a convulsion as in, okay, what is this new thing that you got going on? Can I press forward and break through? Or do I shut down and walk away from it?
Yeah. It does. I think your spirit has to deal with it more than your mind when it comes to anxiety. There's some things your mind, you should kind of let your mind below your spirit. But you know what I mean? Like sometimes let your spirit over control your mind at some things.
Let your spirit over control your mind at some things.
Yeah.
That's pretty deep. Can you elaborate? How do you know the difference between the spirit and the mind?
I would say the spirit, you don't have to think so hard. The spirit is they say when you feel it in your heart, your spirit is in the middle of your body. Your mind, you're gonna have to think about it. You're gonna be thinking, you're gonna be thinking. The spirit, so that's how you feel, So you did,
It sounds like to me the spirit is more concrete and so gentle and it's so validation. The mind, like you said, you could toss and turn and argue with yourself, should I not? But when that spirit speaks to you, it's like there's a period at the end, done, that's it, do it. I love it.
I like that.
I love it.
Perfect.
Okay, thank you. So how have you been experiencing more anxiety since you've been pushing through it? Or have you seen less now anxiety? Now you realize that you're confronting this here thing that's taking place in your life. Can you collaborate?
I've been getting, that is a beautiful question. In my situation, since I'm talking to you about this, I have got less anxiety when I fight it.
Ooh, beautiful.
I feel more anxiety when I don't fight it.
Okay.
Every day it haunts me. Every day I didn't fight it, I felt scared and I hated it.
So when you fight through your anxiety, you feel much better, but then you have less anxiety the next day. So what it is that you're stepping up to your challenge, your other self. That's what I kind of look at. You're coming face to face with your alignment instead of turning around and running away from it. I commend you for that. That's beautiful. Well, here it is. Trying to understand this anxiety. You hear so many people taking medication because they going through anxiety. And so, sometimes it's always good to have a conversation, especially with your children or your close friends, who's going through things, and okay to open up so you can get a better understanding of what's happening, because as a chaplain, I interact with so many women and I hear them, struggling with this and struggling with that, trying to understand so you can help somebody else. And so I appreciate having this conversation with my son to help me to understand more of what people are going through. And it's not for everybody. This is just his example. This is my example of how I interact with anxiety. when it does show up and how he interacts with anxiety when it show up for him. But he's learning how to overcome it and deal with it so he have less of it. So hope to help. With that being said, have a beautiful, beautiful, with that being said, have a beautiful day. Peace.